Hello everybody, my name is Oleh and today we are gonna discuss a bit practical topic, which is the code review and refactoring. So based on the real app which was sent to me by one of my mentees, and this app was written in response to the task for the junior interview. So let's review and let's see some moments which we could possibly improve. So this project structure has this look, and the first probably moment for me is the absence of the solution .sln file in the root folder. So let's find it. No, it's not in the test directory, it's in the test app directory here. So the first moment that we should bring this solution file from here just to the root directory and make the references for these projects according to their actual path. So yeah, currently it's load failed, so let's reference it one more time, so to be correctly. So here we can go add then existing project, and here we are referencing this one. One moment. And we are referencing the test project. Yeah, so that is the first step which should have been done, but currently we are doing it this way. The next step. Let's look at the data model for this one. So, and we remember that this project is the response to the interview test task. So here we see SQL Server, okay, the get default connection, and let's look for some test data. And unfortunately, we do not see any data in the migrations. So maybe here, but also no data. Yeah. So in the settings contain only the settings of the local machine. So the second case is connected with the initial setup. So let's assume that I'm an interviewer and by the evening I have maybe approximately 50 projects which I should review. And when I'm starting, for example, this one, I will start like this way. So I see, yeah, here, for example, get, try it out. Interesting. Let's restart. So get, try. For example, let's specify some test data, but probably it will not come with any result. Yeah. So the case is yeah. So the case is like this. So the database is not present. How do you think? So how it will go for the interviewer to create the database by him own and set up some test data and check this everything whether it's working while there is pretty much of work to do. So it's not the best case for the interview task. So, and let's refactor it in a more convenient way. We have the most straightforward solution in terms of this setup is just to use the in-memory instead of SQL Server. So here we have the in-memory package. Let's install it to the test app. Yeah, and one moment. As we have here the test project, we can also try to run it, and let's reboot. And let's run to see. Yeah, so the test passing, okay. But unfortunately we need some data for the real test of this application. So here we have added the package for the in-memory, and let's look at the program CS file. So here, yeah, we will update this. Also about the naming of the lambda parameters. So better if the naming would be more straightforward and understandable for the code reviewer. So like this. Also let's check this one in the controller. So main controller, and yeah. So if you are sending the task for the review, you should stick with the more convenient naming. So for example, like this one, and also this one. Yeah, so like this. And also pair of moments. So the first one. Here, if you have some IDE like Visual Studio Community with IntelliSense enabled or any kind of JetBrains solution, you should omit the usings which are not explicitly used in your code. So you can just use this one, remove unused directives, and you can look through the entire solution. So, and this will add your code a bit of clarity. And also starting from C#10, and here we are using, let's look, yeah, here we are using the .NET 7, so it's C#11. We have the file scope namespace feature. So, and better it is also to use this feature and to omit the unnecessary nesting like this. So, and it can be done also in a convenient way for the entire solution. So both for the test app and for the main app and for the test project too. Yeah, so like this. And let's return to our data. So here we have SQL Server, but we will use in-memory database. And here, instead of default connection, we can easily specify the name of the database in memory. That's the docs, because this API should return the information about the this one about the docs. It's the kind of this pet service. And let's create migrations. Yeah, no data folder. So let's create the data directory. Let's provide the seed class. So it will be seed, it will be static, and it will have a static method of test data. And here we will be using the regular approach of the bogus library. So let's reference this package. So it is named bogus. This one, let's install it to the app. And here we will go this approach. Also, let's look at the DB context. So here we have the empty constructor, we have the constructor with options, and here we have some data, but let's look at the model. So what else we can improve here? So first of all, we can add the constructor, because if we will generate this data, so it would be nice to add the constructor with all of these attributes. So yeah, like this way. Yeah. And unfortunately yeah, here we have some misunderstandings, so let's add the default constructor too. So it will be a default constructor with no arguments. Yeah, so the first one next. Let's go to the DB context. So first of all, we need just this constructor because we are passing the arguments both in the case of the SQL Server and in memory DB. We are passing just with options. Here, better if you do it very strange. DB context options test context. But we have using here. Something very interesting. But we have this reference. Okay. Next, about this on model creating. So if we have this convention and this convention entirely connects to our database which we are going to project, we do not need this one explicitly because this model will return us just the same table. So like with this method or without. So let's do not write the unnecessary code. And here the virtual keyword is not mandatory, but let's seed our data here. So here we'll create var faker, and it will be a new faker of type doc. So of type doc, and here let's add some rules. So first of all, it will be rule 4. So for the name, and this one will be, let it be name dot first name. So this way. Next, we are gonna to add rule for no color, and let it be commerce dot color. Next one, we will add the rule for tail length, and let's assume that the tail can be maybe from quite a interesting question, but let's assume that the tail could be maybe something from 5 till maybe 50. I don't know exactly. And let's set rule for weight, and this will be random int. So weight is approximately maybe from 3 to maybe, I don't know, 50 in kilograms. Yeah, okay. So like this way. Next, we are gonna to generate. So var docs. It will be faker.generate, and let's say 100. Okay, or maybe let's say 1,000. So to have the more full test case. And next we are gonna to use the doc context, test step context, and let's add these generated docs at range. I think I'm not better if it would be at range of these docs, and then context docs dot save context save changes async. Let it be an asynchronous version, because probably we could use it without any precautions. So as this one, and one more step which we have probably forgotten here is to enumerate the IDs for these docs. So we can do it by making the start will equal 0, and let's do it docs dot for each and let it be dog ID equal increment the start. Yeah, just like this. So can be this way. So let's write the entirely correct code and well understandable, so because that's the key for the successful interview task. Yeah, so this one will sit as the test data, and let's make it to run in every run of the application. So here we can go with application dot services dot create async scope dot service provider dot get service. Let's get the service of type forward test step context, and let's use this method. So the seed class, here let's use this one dot test data. Yeah, let's await it. And let's run the application and see whether it is working for now. So here we have this trigger, and let's start with without any criteria here, and currently we are getting all the information. Okay, that's great. And this one will look a lot better than the empty database, and with requirement to seed the data. Okay, so that was the first one. Next, what we are gonna do, look here. So yeah, currently everything's okay. Also, yeah, the case about the naming, also the case about using the var type. So better if you are gonna to use it, because it's a more convenient way of the defining variables. So yeah, and this one. So if the typecasting is not necessary, so better if not to do such things in the code. So if it's not a required one, yeah. but yeah, so it's required just this way. And here the double of the return statement looks not very good. So in terms of the code qualities of the application will return anyway this one, and what for stands this one, so it's not so obvious. Yeah, so that's not looking great, unfortunately. So let's apply, let's look a bit at this method. So what we have here, so here we have the get docs, okay, here we are using as not tracking, so that's plus for the query construction, okay. Yeah, also we are checking against the attributes. If the attribute is not empty, we are doing the selection by attribute, but in not the most straightforward way it could be. And yeah, and one moment. And one moment with this typecasting. Yeah, so it's probably not so obvious one, but let's look at it how we can improve it. So one moment. So, and what ways of improving of this method? So let's write the another here. Let's take the same signature. So this one, let's mark it with 1. And let's look about how we can alter this query. So first one, throw if now query docs, name of query docs. Okay, so let's keep this one because this is correct. So if this query docs is null or invalid, so we will throw the argument no exception, and yeah, so and we will return the exception with this message. Okay, but also one moment in terms of this get query docs async. So let's look at this usage setup. Yeah, here and here, but one moment about this construction because it's not so obvious. So the exception that's wrong. Let's take a look at under the hood. Yeah, throw. So here this statement will throw the exception if the data will be null, but we have the try catch statement just for everything, but not this one. So it means that if this case works, the exception is thrown, but the try catch is obviously not handling this one. So it's not a very convenient approach, because if there will be exception, the exception will be not handled correctly this way and returned as this. It would be just an exception. So let's keep this try, but let's wrap this argument now exception with this block. So, and yeah, so it makes much more sense as this way. And let's keep this one because it's the first part of the query and everything is okay with this. But next, what we are gonna to do? So query docs attribute. Okay, so let's keep this one. But what we have to alter here? So we have the switch of the attribute, and for each case we are gonna do this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, so how we can refactor this. So it's not possible with the method parameterization, but it's possible with using of the reflection. So reflection is the key for this kind of workload. So, and how we can manage it. So first of all, we can get the property by using the reflection stuff. So how it is possible is by using the type of doc dot get property, and let it be this one. So the query docs dot attribute, so the attribute of the query which was queried, and also let's specify the binding flags in order to get this correctly. So it will be binding flags dot, first of all it will be dot ignore case, because the attribute could be in some cases not could not match the casing of the source with the target. Next one, it will be binding flags dot public, because it should be a public property, and next one it should be the instance one. So yeah, just this way. Probably I have missed the comma. Yeah. Next, we are gonna to ensure that this property is correct. So if property, and let's take the bit more modern way of not of two equals, but the is or is not keyword, and here we will return the incorrect attribute. So let's return, like in the exception, false. Let's provide the message. And let's provide also the now here. And how we can do this query? So just by doing, wait, one moment, docs query, it will be query docs. So here dot order, and so let's first of all check against order. So because here we are checking against the order just in every case, but we can do it here just one time. So to lower, maybe is Mutus and is descending, yeah, and this way, if it is a descending attribute, descending order, so we are gonna to add the docs query order by descending, and it will be the ordering by the property which we have done here by reflection dot get value, and it will be value of the doc object and with the now here, so as this one. And in other case, what we will have just the same, but with the order by, not by descending. So yeah, as this way. So, and what we have here now, assignment. So better if let's currently suppress it, but it's just the insurance that this warning will remain, but it should be now, so this gonna to see it here. And next, so currently we have utilized this one with the reflection, and next we are gonna to do the refactor in terms of pagination. So first of all, if query docs page number so less or equal to 0, or the query docs dot page size is less or equal than 0. So let's return also this construct of false, and let's provide the detailed explanation for this. So number and page size should be more than 0. Okay. Next, how to utilize the mechanic of the skipping. Yeah, so as this one. So start index and then skip take. Okay, but what we are gonna to alter a bit. So first of all, let's define our skip portion, and it will be the query docs dot page number subtract 1 multiply by the query docs dot page size. So it will be the skip portion, and the docs, the final one, will be the, let's await it, query docs dot skip. So first of all, not query docs. Yeah, so it's not the query docs, but the docs query dot skip. So we are going to skip this, but currently we have it as nullable. So because these parameters are nullable, and instead of casting like this, we can easily specify the fallback value of the 0. So for example, if here we will have the null, so we will automatically replace it with 0. And let's take also the query docs dot page size, and while it's also a nullable one, so let's fallback it with 1, and let's do it to list async. So this way, and here we can just return what we have. So return, if everything is okay, we will return true instead of false. Then we will return the docs. Not, we are gonna do message string empty, so it will be string empty, and we'll return the docs here. So as this way, and let's replace this method. So let's find the usages of this, and let's replace with the updated one. Yeah, and we have not added to service dot, one moment. Yeah, so here we gonna to add the interface for for this method, and here we are gonna to replace it with the async1. So, and let's look at this updated implementation. So here we have the docs. Let's try it with the empty parameters, and here, yeah, so everything's correct. Let's string query order, page number, page size. Okay, let's be 2, let it be maybe of 50. Yeah, let's execute it. Very interesting. So, and why the parameter is not passed? Very interesting. Maybe so. Let's take the breakpoint here and let's debug it. So it will be this one, get docs, try it out, and let's specify the page number of 2 and page size of 50. Okay, let's execute and see. So page number, very strange. Get query docs. Very interesting. And what if we replace this one with the first method? So here, let's replace it with the first one. Query docs async. So that's the bug, because either it's my new bug or this bug was present. So let's determine that. So docs, and let's add the page number of 2, page size of 50. Yeah, let's execute it. Yeah, no breakpoint set, my miss. So let it be here, let it be executed one more time. And let's see, page number 1, page size 10. Very strange. And why? And why it is not passed by Swagger? It's very interesting. So let's go to the controller. From body, get. Okay, let's look here one more time. Currently we have stopped the application. Request. Yeah, here we have the correct parameters. Okay, and model, not model state, get query. This one is very interesting, unfortunately. And why do we need the request with page number and page size? So it's not the obvious moment here, because let's assume that we have a request, we have page number, we have page size. So, and this one is not so obvious for me, so why we have this as the default ones? So currently better if we comment it out. Let's check the first method. So with 2 and 50, execute. So yeah, 2 and 50, okay. Query docs. Okay. Let's go to the breakpoint, okay, and so here we have the 50 docs. Yeah, okay. So So it does not look without any kind of error, and let's see the updated method. So yeah, from 51 to 100. Okay, and let's use the updated method and to see whether the reflection resolves the same task. So get query docs to 1 to 1 to 1 and task, and the interface, yeah, it should remain the same. So okay, yeah, so here we have the same approach but for the method with reflection, and let's see whether it's everything's okay. Okay, yeah, so here we have just the same collection but in the more convenient way using the reflection. So that's it, and here we have just the same result. Not yeah, so it's not the actual window. So this one when we have the 2 and 50, and here we have the complete actual result of these docs. Okay, so probably that's all for today. So in the next video we will talk about some other cases in this solution and what are the ways for improve. So and let's make a summary of what we have done for today. So first of all, we have done some refactoring in terms of some using namespaces, one declarations, and so on. So it's not the critical, but it sharpens a bit the code. Next one, we have used the in-memory database with data seeding in this with bogus framework instead of using the SQL server without any database and possibility to test. And the third one, we have updated our get method from the per attribute approach to the reflection approach as this. So it's more it should be more fast in some cases, and it looks much more convenient than specifying one attribute per another. And remember, if we are talking in terms of the code scalability, so if currently we have only 4 attributes, it does not mean that this number will not grow to maybe something like 50 attributes and so on with the application growth. And the approach of querying and working with the data should be as much generic as it possible. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas and comments, please message me. I'm really open for discussion. See you. Bye bye.